From the folks who brought you ISIL, it's The Damn Woods with Jake and Oz. Welcome, one and all, to the Damn Woods Wednesday Tech and Games podcast.
We're actually going to talk about tech this time.
Yeah, we are. Weirdly enough, usually we just talk about games.
Video games.
Get all them games.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this is... we're actually kind of almost in conspiracy territory here.
We're nearly there.
Nearly.
But it's just reality being shitty again.
So, you may be familiar with some real shitty stuff that happened in Paris.
Uh-huh.
Prior to that, an amount of shitty stuff happening in and around Syria. Just total shit fest.
Basically, a lot of people are being bombed.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people being bombed. And particularly following Paris, oh boy, the think pieces took off real hard trying to blame Edward Snowden.
Snowden and encryption.
I guess the head of the CIA also.
The head of the CIA has been trying to fucking blame him for stuff since forever. But largely, we kind of want to talk about this because it's going to be a big thing, because it's going to be an election year.
Yeah.
And those are always shitty years for everyone, all the time, forever.
It's already really shitty.
It's not even the election year, and I want to punch every candidate in the face. And it's just going to get worse. So, this year around, the big thing is going to be a moderate war on encryption. Yeah,
that's what it's looking like. I mean, between trying to blame Snowden and claiming that these attacks prove that we need more access to people's shit, which is not true
at all.
Like, here's the thing. I'm not a truther by any means. I don't think that... I mean, I'll admit that we created ISIS through our own negligence and idiotic foreign policy.
/ funding.
But I don't think these were, like... / funding. But I don't think these were agents. Like,
no.
These were not actors doing this. These were actual radicals.
Right.
But they were all on law enforcement's radar.
Yep.
With, like, maybe 2 exceptions.
Yep.
So they should have known. This is not unlike 9/11, where the FBI had papers on all those people, but through whatever combination of negligence and sheer stupidity, their shit was able to actually go down.
Right.
So they don't need any additional info.
No.
They've got tons of information.
They just don't know what to... they've admitted that they don't know what to look for inside the info because of, I don't know, incompetence or whatever.
I'm gonna stick with incompetence, but they claim that they want more access, and that's gonna solve it next time.
It's more access. It's not just more access to them; it's more access to everyone.
Yeah,
that's the deal.
Backdoors.
Yeah, backdoors. They
want backdoors and encryption. Which, let's be realistic here. You can't put in a backdoor that only one agency is going to use.
Yeah, every agency is going to get.
Well, not even every agency. The moment you put that in, it becomes a target for every hacker out there.
Right.
At which point, that could just compromise all of your data.
Yep.
Because there's that backdoor.
All encryption everywhere being compromised because one government wants it to be, basically. So this is going to be a thing. You're going to see a lot of dumb propaganda. We just kind of wanted to give you a little bit of a heads up here.
Yeah, we wanted to get you ahead of the curve on the propaganda.
Holy fucking shit, it's going to get real stupid, guys.
It's already getting stupid. So there are a number of refugees coming out of Syria, and that's understandable. Those people are in a shitty situation. They're trying to get to somewhere that's relatively peaceful.
It turns out you leave shitty situations.
Yeah, shocking. I know.
Weird.
And initially that was being reported as this is a refugee crisis. Yes. There was no debate on it. There was no question to it. It was just these people are leaving this location because of this, and there are accommodations being made.
It is a thing.
Now you will notice that there's suddenly this big question. Right. Should we let in these refugees? Is it okay? Are there bad guys hiding among them?
That's the one.
And there we go. That is the smokescreen
It's coming up already. Mm-hmm. So the deal there, like, largely, the French people, the French and Belgian nationals who did the Paris attacks.
Yeah, let's point out here, those people were not refugees.
French and Belgian nationals.
Mm-hmm. What's good? Turns out you can radicalize people born in the West if you were shitty to them.
If you're shitty to them and if they're dumb enough, basically.
Yeah, if you're shitty at them and they're dumb, they're gonna...
It's radicalized!
Whoa, what's up?
It's weird.
Yeah, shocking.
Fuck. I hate humans. Anyway, it's all going to be a big thing where
basically
your rights... And, rights, I guess. Let me phrase it this way, because I hate using the rights thing, because it's...
Wake up, sheeple.
Yeah. Well, it gets weird, because I don't... people,
we don't want to go full Alex Jones here, because we're not full Alex Jones people, but...
No, not at all. But you can't trust the fucking state. It does not have your best interest in mind, in heart, anything. At all. It never has. And it doesn't do that. I'm not saying like the state is full of shapeshifters.
No.
And they're going to eat you. They're not meeting in secret fucking rooms with cloaks.
No.
They're just fucking people.
I mean, they do that in college, but that's kind of their own thing.
That's different. That's a social.
David Cameron putting his dick in a
that happens.
That type of thing.
I guess
that's how you get made prime minister.
That's a British thing. Legally speaking, that's how
you have to have put your genitals in the mouth of a dead pig to become prime minister.
That makes sense.
It's how it works.
I didn't follow any of that because I was just like, as soon as I saw like that, I was like,
Twitter was funny as hell when that was happening.
I liked
it a lot. I liked that shit a lot
because I was just like, I saw it from afar and I was just like, none of this is going to be anything I want to see.
I was big on that because of that episode of Black Mirror, which that is probably something we should watch for the show at some point.
Black Mirror is good.
Where the prime minister is blackmailed into fucking a pig.
Yes.
And then, oh my god, it happened for real. Oh shit.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Oh god.
Yeah.
Black Mirror, stop predicting the future, please. Especially if the rest of your stuff is...
Yeah, it's not going to.
It's not good.
It's not going to stop. Anyway. So yeah, this... Basically, the refugee question is a manufactured crisis to keep attention off of the ongoing debate over encryption, which thankfully, at least as of this point, it has not managed to be pushed out of the news completely.
Yes. I mean, aside from the news, so I don't, obviously, I am very skeptical of anyone in the press.
Hi.
No. When I say the press, I mean the main, the big four. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where it's like there's almost always an agenda, and this is the thing. Here's some advice from your friendly jerkbag market anarchist friend. When someone claims to have your best interest at heart, and then it seeks to control you because of that. They don't. They fucking don't. It's the second thing. It's not the first one. God damn it. Anyway.
Be cool, Jake. Be cool.
But this is going to be a thing. There's going to be a lot of issues that get put in front of it. The encryption thing. It'll be this will protect us from terrorists and murder. This is 9/11 again, basically.
In a sense, yes.
It's not to the same fucking, extent or whatever. It's not. It's 100 people instead of 3,000, and then we're not bombing Iraq. We're gonna go bomb Syria this time.
Yeah, everybody's bombing Syria. That's a new hip thing.
Fucking poor Jesus Christ! Why are there so many refugees? I don't know. Their country's being bombed, and it's full of fucking assholes.
There's a quote from. Refugees? And this is in a similar vein. Mm-hmm. It's not exactly on the encryption thing, but it's one of my favorite quotes from Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
From one of the faction leaders.
Yeah.
As the Americans learned so painfully in Earth's final century, free flow of information is the only safeguard against tyranny. Yeah. The once chained people whose leaders at last lose their grip on information flow will soon burst with freedom and vitality. But the free nation gradually constricts constricting its grip on the public discourse, has begun its rapid slide into despotism.
It's true.
Beware of he who would deny you access to information, for in his heart he dreams himself your master.
Yep. Man, that's really good.
Yeah.
Also true.
A great quote.
Highly accurate.
Yeah.
Fucking Christ. It's the same dumb shit. They'll use any crisis possible.
Never waste a crisis.
Never waste a crisis. They'll use any crisis to justify any number of things. And like the people, like this is one of those things, like I'm a market anarchist, so my stance on things is pretty much like, I don't care. I'm out.
See, I'm depending on the day of the week, I'm a regionalist socialist, and I still agree with this.
Yeah,
for the most part. Like
I'm out.
The moment a big thing happens, the response is, okay, let's sit back, let's see what's going on here.
Right.
When there's a rush to, we need full access to everybody's data in order for this to be the case, like to prevent this from happening. Whoa, hold on there, Sparky.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Calm it down, fellas. But that's one of those things, like that's like states do that stuff, and they have for centuries.
Oh yeah.
So like when people advocate for walls to keep the Mexicans out or the Syrians out or whatever, my brain goes, that wall will keep you the fuck in.
It's very true.
Have you seen like fucking East Germany? Remember that?
Yeah.
Fucking, I lived in I was in Germany as a child.
Yeah.
When the wall was still up.
Yep.
And that was like that's the dumbest fucking thing on the planet.
Yep.
It's the same country. Fucking wall in the middle, keeping families apart, all kinds of shit.
Yep.
Can you oh God. It's a fucking capital control to keep fucking wealth and humans in one fucking goddamn. People are dumb, and you fucking clamor for it. You're just like, we're gonna keep macadabra, whatever fucking reason. You goddamn morons. Fuck.
We're going full Alex Jones here, Jake.
I'm sorry.
You gotta cool it down.
I hate everyone.
You gotta cool down.
I hate the world. Fuck. It's so stupid. It's just like they're so fucking like you get told by the media that the fucking you kids are gonna have to learn Spanish or something, and you get your asshole in a twist, and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna side with these fucking authoritarians because the fucking other ones are shitty. You fucking idiot! They're the same team. They're the same people. Oh my God! I hate humans. I hate them so much.
Yeah, we get that.
It's okay.
We know humans love you anyway.
Oh no, they don't. Especially not when I'm talking. But it's one of those things. It's going to be like this whole big fucking thing is going to be happening for this entire year. Yeah. And like this is us not joking around kind of about it because I mean, we'll joke a little bit. Be real
about it. I mean, the only sane governmental response I've ever seen to something of that effect came out of Norway.
What did Norway do?
Well, Norway had that white warrior dude who bombed a bunch of buildings and murdered a bunch of kids and so forth. And
what's his name?
I forget his fucking name.
Anders something.
Yeah,
Anders Breivik.
Yes, there we go. That motherfucker. And basically the response was, we are not changing anything. Right. And that was really sane. Like, we're not going to be like frightened into increasing our police protections or anything. We caught this guy and that's it. So that's it. And that is a very rational metered approach, which of course that fucking comes from Scandinavia.
It's weird.
As opposed to here where, oh fuck, there's brown people coming. We need your data.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's just like, I mean, like it'll be on both sides of the coin too. Like that's one of those things.
I mean, both parties at this point have expressed their support of.
They love that shit.
Encryption backdoors.
I will say this: Rand Paul, despite being Rand Paul,
Rand Paul is like a shitty copy of Ron Paul, and I'm not even that big of a fan of Ron Paul.
Right? But. No, I agree because I like Ron Paul. But Rand, thank fucking Christ, was like, hey, fuck you, no. Like I was like, I think he was like, he really thought that the Republican Party was like. I think he might actually have some principles, is what I'm saying. Yeah. And I think he thought the other politicians did too. And it just, they don't. None of them do. It's okay. Don't worry. It's like you almost want to just go hold his hand and be like, it'll be okay. I know you've worked with them for a while, but none of them give a shit.
Nope. Oh, they really don't.
Oh.
No.
Anyway.
It actually is a little odd to my worldview simply because, you know, your view is the state is the bad guy. My view is the people at the reins of the state are the bad guy. And usually those are the people with money and power.
Right.
I'm shocked Silicon Valley hasn't invested more in control over the state. Because they are in opposition to...
Sometimes.
Primarily, I have noticed. Like, Apple in particular.
Google
to a certain extent.
loves giving data to the NSA, so I don't know.
True. Actually, both of them love giving data to the NSA, but...
Oh.
And it's actually kind of odd because it seems like they're fighting themselves because they hand over data when it's requested, but encryption is now being built in default to Android 6 phones, iPhones from whatever iOS, I think like iOS 9 on.
Yeah.
Encryption is the default, which means they're basically trying to like, okay, we've provided you this data. Now we're just going to provide you gibberish.
Yep.
And that's yours to deal with.
Which I'm fine with.
Yeah. No, I'm way into that. But what's surprising me is that they haven't bought a couple candidates who say the same thing.
It is a little surprising.
It's shocking to me.
Honestly, like, even like as far as like this, like, the market anarchist worldview, as far as like just the state being the bad guy, it's not just like it is not just the state is like a thing. It's like it's the state corporate partnership is a thing that is obvious to even us.
The fascist structure.
Basically, it's one of those things where you're just like,
people kind of go, what are you talking about when I say that? The definition of fascism is corporate state partnership.
Right.
That is it. Like
that's it.
That's what fascism was.
Right.
So
it's real shitty.
Yeah.
It turns out it's one of those things where people like they'll conflate socialism and fascism because they're similar, and I want to throw rocks at both of them. But like, it's a thing you see, and I think some people in the market anarchist community aren't like they think they're like reneging on capitalism when they say. These companies, it's not smart to admire these companies because these companies are good at working in a state-controlled market, and they've made a lot of money using the state-controlled markets.
Yeah.
So it's not like these things like big companies not to be admired. They're fuckers.
Yeah, they're not performing capitalism in the sense that market anarchists typically view capitalism.
Right. They're performing corporatism effectively.
Yeah.
And they're good at it, and like I'm always, because I'm a huge pragmatist also, because, you know, whatever.
Because it makes living life easier.
It's true. But it's one of those things where you see it and it's like, you can't really fault companies for learning to operate very well inside the system they have to operate in.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're not like, you know, great moral fucking good guys.
Oh, no.
They're doing the same thing we are. They're just doing it on a grander scale.
Much more efficiently.
Oh my God, yes.
And with very little in the terms of moral qualms, because as a machine made out of people, they have to take the average of that, and often there is not an average to be taken.
I mean, there's an average, it's not a happy one.
Mm-hmm. It's a very low average.
But yeah, it's one of those things, and it's, I think some people who are, you know, on my team there don't like to like make that they feel like they're making a concession there when in reality, even like, you know, people like Rothbard had said, you know, don't say these people are not like free market successes. They're people who are successful in the current economic structure, which is far from a free market. Mm-hmm. So that's one of those things. Like, I think that's not clarified enough, honestly, because some people like they react negatively to any opposition tribes, which is, it's a human thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, holy fucking shit, war on encryption is going to be a thing.
Yep.
It's going to be like, so right now, like what you can do is learn about fucking encryption.
Yeah, encrypt
Check
your
out
shit.
Tor. If you have a phone, text secure, Wicker. We've used Wicker for years. Mm-hmm.
Plus,
Wicker's not perfect, but it's good.
If you're on Android or iOS, you should have the option to encrypt your entire file system.
Do that.
Do it.
Like, there's a small performance hit.
But it's pretty worth it, because that way, if your phone's powered off, it's not going to do anything until you put in your passcode or
Right.
glyph or whatever when it powers on.
Also, learned fucking make decent passwords.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit to being a little lenient on that, but I have 3 different passwords at several different levels of security for each one. So permutations.
Sure. No, that's...
And yeah, don't let it be just a word or a word with a couple numbers.
Make it a phrase.
I'm big on sentences.
Yeah,
sentences with numbers in them.
Sentences. I use titles of economic essays because they're wordy as fuck.
There you go, and it's not easy to be just forced.
Right.
So
just little things you can do to keep this like your life secure from the state and its friends. Mm-hmm. It's real simple, guys.
It's not even a case of having something to hide. It doesn't matter.
No, it's your shit.
It's all about your shit. It's all about your right to privacy.
That's a fucking that's a spook. Whenever someone does that, by the way, if you have nothing to hide, I should be able to look at your stuff. Fuck you, get a warrant.
Yeah, absolutely, get a fucking warrant. And that's a really big thing as well, because it's not what you've done,
right,
so much as it is what you could be conflated to have done,
right,
in hindsight. Like, that's not to sound too paranoid myself, but if we hit a certain point of data availability /
police state saturation,
that's an excellent phrase for it. You could get fucking blackbagged for something you said online 5 years ago.
Yeah,
because they just put that together and they're like, all right, we got this, and that person's being vocal. So, whoop, and then you're gone.
Something else, right? That's the deal. Like, something else to consider. Oz and I don't use our real names for our social media accounts.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Granted, we also...
I mean, I do maintain a real name social media account, but
I have not done that yet, but I'm considering it.
It's a work necessity in my case.
If it becomes necessary for me to do that, I will do that. Mm-hmm. But... don't use your real name for things. Don't use your state name for things.
Yeah.
Don't anything that can be traced to your legal identity, don't do it. Just try to avoid it if at all possible. Google yourself regularly, see what's traced to you.
Yeah, there's a couple things that I can't take down, so I still have to harass those people.
I'm
basically
pretty good about. We had a friend of ours who had a real version of my name, like at real Jake whatever, and I forgot about it for years, and then I saw it pop up in my Twitter feed, and it was just like, remember this? I'm like, fuck. You need to get rid of this now.
Yeah
But it's one of those things, it's a simple stuff you can do, and go do it.
Mm-hmm.
Go do it.
Yeah,
it's good for you. Learn about it. Even if you're not computer savvy, you probably know someone who is.
Yeah. And they've made it pretty user-friendly at this point, too. So,
I mean, fucking, like I said, using Wicker, using Text Secure,
using Tor,
using PGP to encrypt your emails, everything. It's all available to you. It's all free, also. And there's stuff you can pay for. There's Silent Circle, stuff like that. But it's one of those things. People have been in my community have been advocating for this for years. Because we're a little paranoid.
Well, naturally.
But it's,
even I'm a little paranoid.
It's not a foregone conclusion to see the state is. States in general, even ours, the one we live in, has done fucked up stuff to people in the past.
Oh yeah.
The people who live here, not just people everywhere else, because it does that constantly.
Oh yeah, you can't get the Americans.
That's a different department.
It's like the environment. You can't get Americans to care about droning other places.
Literally anything.
Yeah.
Get droned real hard. LOL. But that's a thing. But it's done stuff to people or celebrities. For God's sakes, they had fucking George Takei in a goddamn Japanese internment camp.
Yeah, internment camps were a thing.
That was a property grab, by the way.
Yeah, big
That was
time.
a big land grab.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. So internment camps were a thing. Eugenics programs were a thing in this country. That was a huge deal.
Until the 80s. The fucking 80s. They were just called very different things. A lot of the communities that were experimented on, I mean, it's mean to say experimented, I guess, but it's also true, were Native Americans. Because this is going to be a little bit of tinfoil, but when the state controls your health care, it can fucking do that. It doesn't give a shit about you. So the Native Americans have been brought up in the program, the BIA, etc. thing. Fucking, that's like 8 billion red flags to me. It's like, the state's providing this for free. Oh, run! Run! What have you do? Run! Don't let them get the knife near you, fuckers.
See, I actually approve of the idea of a single payer system, but I know you don't. It's okay, Jake. Be cool.
Red flags.
But for Bureau of Indian Affairs, that's an outgroup to them.
Oh, yeah, they don't give a shit.
So it's absolutely like even lower threshold of shit giving. Similarly, the Tuskegee experiment.
Oh, yeah. Fucking.
Where they just let some black men have syphilis after the cure was found.
Yep.
After they found the cure, and they're just letting it
happen.
rot away.
To see what happens, basically.
And another case, really, really delightfully hideous one.
Yeah.
Soldiers would come back from World War II in particular with PTSD.
Oh, yeah.
Which at the time, I guess they were still just calling shell shock.
Yeah.
And so the Bureau of Veterans Affairs would just lobotomize some of them.
Yep.
They'd do that.
That's a thing that the state does.
It's like, we can't get him to calm down. Better chop some of his brain out.
So if you think it's beyond them to look at your fucking phone...
Yeah, they don't give a fuck.
It's not. Fuck. Sorry. I hate to burst your bubble a little bit.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
They're not to be trusted.
Just so you're aware.
Don't trust their friends either.
Yep. And encrypt your shit, because this is going to become an issue.
It's going to be a huge one, and it's going to be a thing you need to do now, or sooner rather than later, I guess. So that's kind of it.
Yeah,
as far as our serious political podcast.
Yeah, let's lighten things up a little bit with some video games.
We've been playing some video games too.
We're wearing some hats that say video games.
We are wearing hats that say video games. They're really great. So I've been playing an HD remake of Darksiders 2.
How is that? I've heard that name floating around.
So Darksiders 2, I played Darksiders 1 and I didn't really like it, but Darksiders 2, and I saw it and I was like, yeah, it's whatever. The art style is a little bit like, some people love it, and I'm just like, it looks dumb to me, but it's an action game. It's like a Devil May Cry kind of, yeah, it's like that.
Okay.
There's a crafting system in it, but the HD remake, I looked at like some of the gameplay of the original from like 2 years ago.
Yeah, it seems really fast to make an HD remake.
It's confusing, but whatever. It's cheap though. That was the thing. I got it for like $10. But it is not bad. It's surprisingly fun, and like the HD remake lightens things up a lot. Like, it was a very dark and like overly gritty game for some reason. Probably because it was on the Xbox 360 that generation.
Yeah.
When everything was fucking brown.
I guess that's the reason for the HD remake too, is that a lot of games were developed with the 360 and the PS3 in mind. And
now they are available to, new platforms that are better. So, I mean, like, they're re-releasing all kinds of games with Xbox One support.
Yeah, and that's
stuff like that.
And what's kind of entertaining to me on that is that the jump was never that big for the PC.
No.
Because, the PC has been incrementing up the entire time.
Constantly.
While the Xbox released 360 released 10 years ago.
Was it just 10?
Today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
There we go. 10-year-old console.
Yes. And so they were developing with the mindset of, we also need to be able to scrape shit off of this and put it on the 360 and put it on the PS3. And now, since they're thinking about the PS4, the Xbox One, yeah, it's a lot easier to develop for that and PC and have them be relatively in parallel. So
yeah.
So I guess it kind of makes sense to have HD remakes, but I'm still thinking of like shit from the 90s getting an HD remake, not something from 2010.
Right. It's one of those things, like, I think, like, honestly, like, things that were in late development cycle for the Xbox 360. You know what I mean? Like, Darksiders 2 was late life 360.
Right. I mean, the biggest
one's been out for a year and a half now, right?
Yeah, the one and the PS4 have been around for about a year and a half, going on 2. So
you figure these games are like a year or two before that these games are getting HD remakes and re-released on the One and stuff. Or
I mean,
on that generation.
The Last of Us was just baffling to me that they did a remake that fast, but it's because they went from the PS3 to the PS4.
Yeah.
So
fucking what confuses me the most, honestly, is that there are people who will play both. I've definitely seen people like buy the HD version of a game they played like a year ago.
That is confusing.
And I'm like, if you really like the game, I guess that's cool.
I mean, I can't really necessarily judge simply because I've been playing the StarCraft 1 campaign in the StarCraft 2 engine.
Right.
So that's basically me doing the same thing, but I'm about 16 years removed at this point.
And you also didn't pay $60 for it.
That's very true. I paid $100 over the life of StarCraft 2, but that's for about, 5 years of games, so I'm still doing pretty good.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of those things. Anyway, Darksiders 2, though, it's an action game. It's real stupid. Like, do not go to play this game for, like, the fucking art style and the goddamn plot, because it's dumb.
But the gameplay itself, the actual
is solid and fun.
Combat.
Yeah, it feels good. It's real fun. I was surprised.
That's enjoyable.
This next game is, like, mysterious indie game that came out of nowhere called The Deer God.
I'm pretty big into those. So tell me about The Deer God.
So you play a hunter.
Okay.
Who is hunting deer.
Okay.
And these wolves fucking murk you.
Okay.
Like you're watching a deer and these wolves are just like, what's up? You're dead. And since you died hunting deer, the deer god, which is a terrifying giant deer ghost, makes you into a baby deer. And it's like, so learn how this works.
Oh, fuck. That actually sounds really intriguing.
It's like an infinite running side scroller. It has quests. It has weird stuff. The mechanics are strange. It's really fun.
Huh.
So the idea is you grow up as a deer. The longer you are alive, the closer to adulthood you get. And when you die, you become a baby again. To set respawn points, you find a lady deer. And you make a new baby. And then you respawn as that baby. It's the kind of that, like, I'm trying to think what, like, The Gods Are Among Us.
Sounds a little bit like Rogue Legacy.
I'm talking about the art style, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like,
yeah. Okay, so kind of the minimalist pixel, like, early PC kind of feel.
Right, except it's real pretty.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, honestly, a lot of that has turned out real pretty. I mean, I would say Kentucky Route Zero is kind of in that art style. That's a gorgeous game.
It is. That's a creepy fucking game.
It's really creepy.
But yeah, so this game is like infinite running side scroller, a little bit of like RPG elements. Like there's a good and bad like meter. Like if you doing bad shit and good shit. Good shit is like
in an infinite running side scroller.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's confusing.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
My favorite part, besides the fact the game is fun, the soundtrack is fucking amazing.
Oh man.
Like it's like this weird kind of IDM electronic shit. IDM is intelligent dance music. It's basically like real nerdy electronic music.
All right.
It's real fucking good.
Yeah.
It's like you get lost in all of it. Like the atmosphere is good, and it's a fucking side scroller. It's outstanding.
Awesome.
Weird concepts, a lot of fun, and I picked up Distance too.
Distance is highly my shit.
That shit is fun.
Yeah. So I actually kind of got into it as their previous project was on the, I won't say the downslide, but it had already, like, a bunch of people had played it.
Yeah.
And I finally picked it up. It was called Nitronic Rush.
Yeah, Nitronic Rush. Yeah.
And that was a tribute to the Rush, San Francisco Rush and Rush 2049 games that if you had man, if somebody had their fucking N64 and showed you that they found the hidden skate park, it was like, oh my fucking God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Because it was an open world racing game that had a whole bunch of secrets and stuff like that. Nitronic Rush maintained primarily the tricks from the Rush series. So you're driving, you're trying to get a good time, but at the same time you're trying to do like flips and stuff.
Right, you get more points, multipliers.
And Distance is that team, because I believe it was a DigiPen.
Yeah.
DigiPen is being one of the few legitimate game design schools. Mm-hmm. So DigiPen, I guess, owns the IP of every student group that comes through. Plus, Rush is already, I think, like a Konami trademark, or maybe Midway.
One of the two. One of the big arcades.
Yeah, one of the big arcade developers.
Probably Midway, actually. But yeah.
Midway sounds right. Anyway, so rather than use that same title, they use Distance.
Right.
And the the kind of aesthetic they're going for is like you're driving through a computer. It's kind of like Tron.
Yeah.
Where you're just trying to get from point A to point B, but there's fucking lasers and buzzsaws and
all
shit
kinds of shit in the way.
And the music is fucking great. The visuals are pretty spectacular.
It's in early access right now, but it's fucking good.
It's in early access. It was a Kickstarter like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And since then they moved up to Unity Engine 5, which is actually pretty impressive. Like I'm still more of an Unreal kind of guy myself, but Unity 5 does some really pretty shit.
It's true.
And,
I mean, for example, or to give you an idea, Unity 5 is what the fucking update to Wasteland 2 uses.
Oh, no, that makes sense. I think that's what they're developing BattleTech in as well. So
makes sense.
So yeah, Unity is more and more impressive all the time.
Capable of some pretty stuff.
Yeah, and Distance is just a great example of that.
It is gorgeous.
They've got a couple of really interesting features in that there's a full level designer, in-engine level designer, so you can make your own tracks and set them up and then share them on Workshop. It's got full Workshop support.
Yeah, there's like 1,000 tracks right now.
Oh yeah, there's tons of really good ones. Some that are just staggeringly challenging. I just don't even know what those people are thinking.
They're savages.
The other thing though that they added somewhat recently, and I'm kind of enamored with it, is a random level generator that you seed with a phrase.
That's cool.
So you just get a text box and it says type in your level seed, and you can make it a word or a phrase or just a combination of numbers. There are certain keywords that will adjust aspects of the level.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
So like if you say up in your key phrase, then it will try to angle the level so that you're going up mostly.
Oh, that's cool.
Or down, it'll do down and that type of thing.
That's neat.
And then people can just share their favorite phrase, and that'll generate the same level for somebody else, and they can try it out.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. So basically, Distance is shaping up to be extremely promising. It's been in development for a couple of years. It just keeps getting better. They just added multiplayer support too. So that's definitely worth checking out.
It's pretty good. I'm impressed with it so far. But as far as like I grabbed these for like fucking, I think it was like $10 total for both of them. Oh yeah. The Deer God is usually about $15, but it is worth checking out. Distance comes in around $20, but it goes on sale pretty routinely. So check that shit out for real.
Get on that.
You'll like both of these games probably.
Yeah,
and Darksiders 2, the remake, which is a thing.
Let's go ahead and wrap up with this video interview that PC Gamer did.
Fucking Mark Hamill.
With Mark Hamill on the set of Star Citizen.
It's so good.
Squadron 42. And goddamn, Mark Hamill has to be one of the most gracious motherfuckers of all time.
He's just the nicest dude.
Oh yeah,
Jesus Christ.
So laid back, so chill. I mean, some people are understandably bitter about Star Wars or Star Trek because, and I'll admit to being part of the problem on this. You remember that person for Star Wars and Star Trek, and that becomes kind of your identity. Like, a few people make it out. Mark Hamill made it out because of voice acting, but he never really had a serious like face acting career.
No,
from that point on.
No, he did not.
Harrison Ford
made it out.
And Patrick Stewart made it out.
Patrick Stewart was a stage actor beforehand.
He was a serious actor. So beyond that, though,
Frakes kind of did too.
Kind of.
He directs a lot of stuff.
That's not the same thing. It's the same category as Hamill.
Yeah,
but basically, people get so rabid about that you could basically never get taken seriously in any other role.
Right. You are a starship captain,
or you are
a
Luke Skywalker or whatever. And that's like fucking Sir Alec Guinness hated Star Wars. Because he was a really serious actor. Then after Star Wars, he could only get recognized as Obi-Wan Kenobi. Which
happens.
One of my coworkers actually was like, oh, he's such an asshole. He said he hates Star Wars. I'm like, can you blame him?
Yeah, no, that's...
Can you name another movie he's been in? Because he was actually an incredible actor.
Yeah, he had a big range.
Yeah.
He was a stage actor too, I think.
That does not surprise me. And he's got the Sir.
He does.
His name.
He's got the Sir.
I should say he's no longer alive.
Yeah.
But yeah, God, Lawrence of Arabia?
Yep.
Staggering in that movie.
Yeah.
And yet...
Turns out it's a classic for a fucking reason.
Yeah, strange, right? And yet he can only get recognized for Star Wars. So, like, I cannot fault anybody who feels that way. Like, as much as I love Star Trek and also Star Wars, mostly Trek, I can't blame actors who went through it and are just like, this fucking ruined everything.
Right.
Like, I cannot blame them.
You figure, like, who the hell was it? Patrick Stewart is obviously a weird example of, like, success after Star Trek and shit like that. But, like, fucking, can you name anything you saw, like, Brent Spiner in besides ID4? And a show with Patrick Stewart? I
was just about to go to Blunt Talk, but you took that one away from me. I did hear his voice on The Simpsons recently, but he was voicing an android.
Of course he was.
So that doesn't count.
But like you figure like that is kind of the acting grave for some people, but like to be fair, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I just don't fault them for feeling that way.
I wouldn't.
But Mark Hamill, totally gracious.
Hamill doesn't give a shit.
Oh yeah, he did this whole interview about doing Squadron 42, which is
like
the single player portion of Star Citizen.
Cool.
It's looking super fun. Like they got fucking Gary Oldman on that shit.
Fucking Oldman.
Yeah.
Gary everyone Oldman.
And so they had the actual rig on them too, which
it was really cool.
Is really insane to watch because they're doing full body capture, full facial capture.
Yeah.
So they have like the ping pong ball suits and everything, but they also have these camera rigs hooked up, pointed at their face, like shining light on their face.
Yep.
While they walk around and do stuff, and so that was pretty wild to see.
It's pretty neat. It's impressive.
Yeah.
What I'm really excited about is he plays like the old man. Literally, that's his character is the old man of Squadron 42.
Yep.
And he was like the lone survivor of the squadron's last battle, basically.
Yeah.
And you're just like, fuck, and he's playing it perfectly.
Oh yeah, he's being grizzled as hell.
Oh god, it's so good. Like
I'm pretty hyped.
I was not that excited for Star Citizen as a thing until that. I was like, fuck, Mark Hamill.
Like even if the multiplayer totally falls through, which I don't want it to,
right?
I'm partially invested. I spent $30, and I'm gonna bump up the $5 to get a slightly different vehicle.
I have friends who spent like $500.
Yeah, there are people who have spent thousands of dollars, and I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you?
People have spent like 10 grand on this. They've raised $92 million.
It's baffling. It's so baffling. Even if the multiplayer falls through, even though I don't want it to, it's looking like the single player is going to be really good.
It looks so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're familiar with like Wing Commander and shit like that.
That's what they're going for.
Right, they're going for that.
I mean, Chris Roberts worked on Wing Commander. He worked on Freelancer. He did the Wing Commander movie, but we'll forgive him for that one.
Yeah, if you've not watched that, watch that sometime. It is god.
It's real bad.
Like that, it was the era when like Matthew Lillard was a popular actor. So like 2002.
Yeah, was it that late?
It was late 90s. It was late 90s.
Yeah.
It is fucking terrible.
It's a bad movie. It's a very bad movie.
It's just the worst. Anyway.
Yeah, Mark Hamill being super gracious.
Fucking great.
Like, he actually gives us a little insight into when he was doing the Joker.
Yeah.
Because he went in thinking they'll never hire me because I'm always the good guy.
Right.
In stuff. And so he did the best Joker performance he could, and he's like, I'm going to make them really regret that they can't hire me. And then a couple weeks later, his agent calls back, oh, you got the Joker. Like, God damn it.
Yeah.
But
way to go, Mark. Yeah.
That being said, Mark Hamill is the greatest Joker
it's true.
ever. So
Suck on that, you nerds.
Yeah, no. If you disagree with that, just I don't care because you're wrong.
Fight me,
yeah,
IRL.
Yeah, no. Mark Hamill, the definitive Joker.
He's definitely very iconic. We've talked about that a number of times.
No, we have, but there's a reason we keep coming back to it because he's amazing.
My favorite movie Joker is still Jack Nicholson.
Jack Nicholson is a solid choice. Like, here's the thing. I mean, even Heath Ledger was really good.
Heath Ledger was a great Joker.
Yeah. I love all those takes on the Joker, but for me, and especially because of that cartoon background, Hamill is just it.
Hamill's perfect. Hamill's voice is perfect for it.
It is. It's so good. So good.
Fucking there's definitely like some Vine of like, it was Hamill and the chick who voices Harley Quinn also.
Oh yeah.
Like in her Vine account, just like doing the voices talking, you're just like,
this is amazing.
You savages.
Oh my god.
Anyway, this is
And I think we've made this recommendation before, but if you grew up on Batman the Animated Series and haven't played it yet, play the first Arkham Asylum game.
Yep, Arkham Asylum.
Just Arkham Asylum, because that is Batman the Animated Series for grown-ups.
It is, because it's fucking amazing. What's his face?
I cannot remember his name. The guy who voiced Batman.
The guy who voiced Batman for years. And he's back now.
Oh, he is?
They've gotten him back to doing... Because, like, he was gone for, like, two or three games and then a couple animated things. But people, like, the backlash was huge.
Oh, yeah, understandably so.
Get him back.
And Hamill plays the Joker.
He does.
Expertly because...
Fucking great. Because they give him a chance to play adult Joker. Mm-hmm. And not the kid Joker.
Not kid Joker, but... Anyway, so we'll link that interview for you. You should check it out, and it's pretty cool. It's definitely Hamill talking about all his background in acting, being in the Wing Commander games.
We'll link the trailer too because it's fucking amazing. Yeah.
One final thing that I noted is he mentioned that he glazes over when people are like, "Oh, what do you play in his what do you choose for this mission? Like, what ship do you choose?"
He never plays the video
games. Yeah, and that's totally understandable. He's just the actor.
He's just an actor.
But,
just the actor.
Yeah, he absolutely just...
It's a great video. It's super charming. It's real fun.
Yeah. So we will link that for you.
We will.
Anyway, that is all we have for the Tech and Games podcast for this week.
Like us on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Follow us on Twitter.
Drop us a review on iTunes if you'd be so kind. Mm-hmm. And keep an eye out on Pocket Cast because we are there. And Google Play because someday we'll be there.
Whenever Google Play's podcast thing comes up, we will be there.
We're already approved.
So friends of the podcast, Zero Hit Points, and I believe Street Fight even.
Oh, yeah?
Are both on there as well.
Oh, yeah. Well, be sure to check them out as well because they are excellent.
They are. All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
I'll see you next week. I'll see you in your house.